What's up everybody, it's Lo, Beauty Demon, and we are back to talk about internet BS. And some of this is actually trickling into real life for some people. We are going to be talking about Brittany Dawn. Now, Brittany Dawn is a creator that has had many different hats. Some people know Brittany Dawn as a fitness influencer who scammed her followers out of money. Others know her as a Christian influencer that pushes fake authenticity onto her followers. I know her as being one part of the couple that, exploited a homeless man for clout and a GoFundMe scam. And of course, a lot of us also know her for being a horrible pet parent. Before we get into all of that though, if you have not already, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell icon so you get a notification every time I post. And please don't send anybody that we talk about in this video any hate, negativity, nothing like that. These are just my thoughts and opinions based on what I am seeing play out on the internet. So if you have something to say about the topic at hand, just shoot it down in the comments below. That's what they are there for. Okay, let's get into Brittany Dawn and break down all of the things I just kind of recapped in that cold opening or whatever you want to call it. So Brittany Dawn started out as a fitness influencer on the early days of Instagram, and that's kind of how she built her whole following. Now, some people don't really remember what Instagram was like, but even getting 10,000 followers on Instagram was huge, and she got to that within the first couple of years. Now, Brittany Dawn became very popular because she would post before and after photos of herself through her fitness journey, and would also post Instagram versus real life photos, so you would see, the difference of how stances were, lighting. So in the beginning, she seemed very genuine and authentic. She would even warn people about going after things like skinny tea, saying these things don't work. It's all about exercise and diet and, working on yourself, not these little gimmicks. Like I said, it all seemed very genuine, and if I had been watching Brittany Dawn at that time, I would have totally interpreted it as, wow, she is a genuine person. I see the struggles and insecurities she has, but now I interpret a lot of what she does as her preying on women's insecurities. They're insecure about certain aspects of their body and how they look, and they see somebody like Brittany Dawn who has accomplished these sort of things, which is how it kind of opened the door for her to be able to scam so many of her fans in relation to her fitness routines. So in doing research for this, I obviously watched several Brittany Dawn videos. Honestly, they're just so annoying. She's just not somebody I would like to spend more than 10 minutes watching. But I found more information on Instagram, scrolling her Instagram, looking up old business Instagrams and current business Instagrams. But I did also go to Reddit, and I found she had an entire snark page dedicated to her. Shit is bad if you have a whole snark page on Reddit just about you. In this subreddit, I found a post from somebody who claimed to know Brittany Dawn before she ever blew up as this whole fitness influencer. I could not find any form of verification with this or anything, but I don't really know how you would verify that you knew Brittany Dawn without completely exposing who you yourself were, a picture with her or something. And really does taking a picture of Brittany Dawn mean that you were friends? Regardless, I just found this post kind of interesting. For the most part, they just kind of laid out a timeline of things that we already publicly knew, but they did go into some things about, like I said, when she first started her Instagram account. So this person says in 2014, they and a friend were the guinea pigs for Brittany Dawn's fitness plans. Now the two were different body types, but when they compared their plans, they saw that they were exactly the same. So they both were okay, whatever, that was a ripoff. They paid $50 or something, which is a huge discount from what Brittany Dawn, I think, was charging people. But they just kind of went on their way. Fast forward a couple years to 2019, and Brittany Dawn has actually released these plans to the public. She is having thousands of people sign up for these things, and she is marketing them as customized meal plans. So this would be customized based on your height, your weight, your energy levels, how much you work out, also including if you had any, physical limitations or anything like that, because she also marketed this as something that was good for people who suffered from EDs, because she suffered from an ED at some point. For a lot of people, they thought, okay, I really want to work with her because she's making customized meal plans. We are going to be doing one-on-one coaching. She's going to be really working with me. And she says that she has struggled with this. She overcame it through this. That would lead people to believe that she has some kind of expertise in this field. All of this, having thousands of people sending you what kind of food they're making, what kind of food they're buying, asking you questions all the time, all this one-on-one, constantly changing people's meal plans, because if people are working out and eating well and losing weight, that means the meal plans are going to have to constantly be changing changing because they're breaking these plans down right down to the macros. Now, I'm not gonna go into all that because honestly, I don't understand it too much. I'm not like a fitness guru. For me, it doesn't really matter in this context. But all of that sounds like way too much work for one person, especially somebody who has to post on social media all of the time. It seems like that's almost impossible, which it actually was. As time went on, customers were not actually hearing from Brittany except for the initial email that they got joining, or would get a couple emails here or there that were like, way to go, great job, you got it, girl. Never changing their meal plans, never having that one-on-one time. They were not getting what they signed up for, which is why it was labeled a scam. Now, I believe the Facebook group was initially made for people for the Brittany Dawn, like by Brittany Dawn, so people could talk to each other and help each other out and all that. Unfortunately, it turned into a place where all of the people that Brittany Dawn was scamming got to talk to each other and find out that Brittany Dawn was scamming them. It got media attention. And going back to the customers who were suffering from ED and were signing up for these things because they thought they were going to be getting that one-on-one help, Brittany Dawn is not a clinical psychologist or a therapist or a counselor in any way, shape, or form. And generally, when people have eating, there's usually some sort of underlying trauma there that they are looking to like gain control over or something like that. Brittany Dawn is not capable of helping somebody navigate through that. Now, maybe these people were already on like the whole therapy train and they were looking for something more physical and nutritional, but I personally would think like a psychologist who's working with you would be the one that, or should be the one rather, that's making your meal plan or directing you to somebody, a nutritionist who's more equipped to help you with your needs, not a fitness influencer off of YouTube and Instagram. Because like I said, it doesn't seem like Brittany Dawn is qualified to do this. It doesn't really seem like Brittany Dawn is qualified to do any of the stuff that we're gonna talk about in this video today. So customers, like I said, in the Facebook group did find out that they were being scammed, and this gained national attention. There were actually news channels, I believe Good Morning America, and other news broadcasters talking about this.
One fitness coach and influencer from Dallas with hundreds of thousands of followers is under fire now after some of her online clients say they were scammed.
Hello YouTube, and welcome back to my channel.
I have such a heart for what I do and for being in this industry. Being a fitness influencer is my full-time job. I jumped into an industry that had no instruction manual. I'm basically going through uncharted territory, and I'm doing the best that I can to the best of my ability. I'm using this as a tool to learn and to grow as a professional and to move forward.
Brittany Dawn posting an apology on her YouTube channel.
I made mistakes, and that's what this video is here to do, to address it, to say that I am sorry.
But some of her customers saying that apology just isn't enough.
And from here, Brittany Dawn did post an apology of sorts where she just kind of deflected and said she had become so overwhelmed by the project and said that she was going to do whatever she could to make it right. And by making it right, she tried to make people sign NDAs so they would not talk about this to the media. That would be the only way that they could get a full refund. I'm not even sure if anybody has gotten a full refund. Some people said they were told they would get partial refunds. I don't even know if that's happened for people. After being exposed in 2019 for the fitness scams, she tried to continue on as business as usual. She did a video right after her apology video addressing the haters. She did say that she was being, doxxed. People were sending her death threats. I don't agree with any of that stuff, but the tone of the video was basically, shut the fuck up, I've already atoned for this. Until people have gotten their refunds, you haven't atoned for anything. And people were not having it, so a rebrand was in order. And that rebrand was Brittany Dawn turning into a Christian influencer. And I'm not gonna lie, some of this seems like the fakest crap I've ever seen. By 2020, Brittany Dawn had fully shifted into Christian content. Basically, she seems like she was trying to use it to absolve herself of her fitness scams of times past and whatever other sins that she had in her past that we might touch on. Except that doesn't really atone you for your sins at all. And it was also around this new Christian lifestyle that she introduced us to a new boyfriend. This man man is now her second husband as of like 6 months ago. Yes, Brittany Dawn was married. She was married between like 2016, 2017, but I believe they were actually high school sweethearts. I don't know a lot about this guy. He did make some posts alluding to the fact that she would like block people who were trying to call her out for the fitness stuff. I believe there was some back and forth of both of them having cheating allegations. Like I said, I don't know about all that, but it doesn't seem like it was a very good, healthy relationship. So maybe in a sense it was good that she and him broke free of each other. But the only reason that this first marriage is important is because how she talks about purity before marriage with her second marriage. So she has been married before, but when she brings this guy Jordan to the picture, she is just diving headfirst into purity culture. Talks about her whole modesty journey, clothing choices. Literally today, as I am filming this, I looked at her Instagram and she posted a picture of her before when she was immodest and after when she's modest. First of all, posting the picture of her being immodest is still her being immodest. If you are still putting that image out into the world and you're trying to claim that you are, living this modest lifestyle where you cover your body, putting this picture out is against that. And the other thing is that second picture is really not that modest either. She almost has cleavage in it. She is wearing pants. If we are talking about full-blown purity culture, modesty, like I pay attention to and read about things like the Duggars and the Bates and like all those people. She would be defrauding the hell out of the Duggars. The boys would not be allowed to look in her direction. She also claimed that she and her boyfriend, fiance, whatever, Jordan, didn't live together when a lot of snarkers actually pointed out that his clothing was in her closet and, she's against premarital sex, which okay, totally fine. It is every person's right to choose who they're gonna have sex with, what the relationship has to be, and all of that. That is totally fine. However, for her to be essentially passing judgment on other people who do engage in premarital sex when she engaged in premarital sex before she met this guy and fell into purity culture is pretty hypocritical and kind of annoying. To make a complete 180 and shame people for things that you were doing a year and a half to 2 years ago. I mean, it's like she doesn't care, or she's just so delusional in all of this that she literally just doesn't see that aspect at all. Okay, and before I forget, let me give you like a summary of who Mr. Brittany Dawn, Jordan Dawn, who this is. So before becoming Mr. Brittany Dawn, Jordan was actually a police officer for the Kansas City Police Department. I don't know if it was in Missouri or if it was in Kansas though. However, he was fired for assaulting a man and it was filmed on dash cam. I have watched the video and I have seen the man's face. He slammed this man face first into concrete with no warning or reason at all for doing this. This man was standing there waiting for officers to approach him. He approached him. He was standing next to him. They were talking. This man's hands were raised above his head. And out of nowhere, this guy, Jordan, Brittany Dawn's new husband, slams his face into the ground. And it was just, it was horrific. And there was a lawsuit against Jordan Dawn. Jordan Nelson is actually his name. I just keep calling him Jordan Dawn. Nelson is his last name. Jordan Nelson, if you want to look this up. There was a lawsuit with the ACLU. I'm not sure if it was dropped or not, but Jordan was fired from the police department. When we see police brutality, a lot of times those police are not fired. They are just put on suspension with pay for a certain period of time or like administrative leave. But the fact that Jordan was fired kind of indicates to me that there's probably more to this. Like there's probably more instances of him being overly aggressive with people. This is just my speculation. I have not dug into any of this, like his police record or anything like that. It just leads one to think he's probably been aggressive on the job before. This was the last straw. And what's interesting is Jen from Fundy Fridays, love Jen. She did a video on Brittany Dawn, amazing video. But in this video, she does show like a Q&A that Brittany and Jordan did. Jordan exhibits extreme aggression when trying to kill this fly with like a electrified tennis racket. Like he is way too into killing this living creature. And for me, I'm not Christian, but to me, I was like, wow, it doesn't seem like a very godly thing to do, to revel and relish in the fact that you've killed a living creature that's actually very vital to the world, because flies, just like bees, spread pollen and things to plants to kind of keep us going. And Jordan also seems like the kind of guy that would take that electric tennis racket and like zap his friends because he thinks it's funny. Anyway, now that she's with Jordan, she has been pushing purity culture, not living together, not having sex until marriage. She goes goes onto her Instagram, TikTok. I don't look at TikTok, so I just always say Instagram, but they are all reposts of TikToks on her reels, complaining about how she can't have sex with this guy until they're married. But the interesting other aspect of that was Jordan was actually already married. He was still married to somebody else when he and Brittany started dating. So it's just like these little layers of hypocrisy of her judging people from she's judging from a glass house or throwing stones at a glass house. I've forgotten the phrase. It doesn't matter right now. But all of this judgment, just to me, it seems like a lot of this judgment comes from her insecurity. I feel like some of the insecurity is like in her relationship, like she's trying to prove herself to this man, and I don't know why. The problem for me though is just how judgmental she is about all of this when this was not even her lifestyle 2 years ago. In some Instagram reel or TikTok or something, she talks about like liberal Christians. Like, you're a pretty liberal Christian too in relation to like fundamentalists and whatnot. So I wanted to share just some of her TikToks or, like I said, Instagram reels here, just so you can see just like how annoying some of this stuff is. Let me go to it. So everybody took that one as, so you edit your photos, you're being fake in these. And she said, no, I don't edit my photos. I'm just showing you Instagram versus reality. But that is how all of her pictures look. And of course, in this TikTok, she's wearing a midriff, which I don't care. I love crop tops, but she is preaching purity culture and then wearing this stuff and talking about how immodest people are nowadays and how much better she feels now that she's in her conviction. I'm just like, girl, you just stop. This one is kind of problematic to me. So I just took a screenshot of this one and it says, when your husband says you should spend more time with Jesus because you're a little moody, why can't you have a conversation with your husband about why you're feeling this way? So her husband is not, he doesn't want to be there for her emotionally, and instead refers her to Jesus, somebody who is not there. I feel like if Jesus was there with them, Jesus would probably be like, hey, you guys, let's talk. What's going on? Why are you feeling this way? So instead of taking time to talk to his wife, see what's going on with her, he tells her to go talk to Jesus instead of like working on whatever issues she's having. And I'm really stuck on this modesty thing because she is essentially slut shaming people who dress immodest by her standards when she does still dress immodest by her standards and other people's standards. And when you go to her Amazon store, she is selling immodest clothing. She doesn't care because she's making money. She's making money both off of her message of purity culture and modesty, and she's making money off of people buying her bathing suits and stuff like that. Because let's be honest, Brittany Dawn is just defrauding all over the world. And it just shows that this is all about money and delusion for Miss Brittany Dawn. Or maybe she just really doesn't see this. So she is just continuing to prey on women's insecurity. She's just gone from the fitness influencer world to the purity culture world. I think she maybe sees like she can take advantage of people more in this world because people are more trusting and giving and open. But you know, she's still gonna make some money, which makes her look more disingenuous. So along with her pushing her faith, she of course has to spread the word because Christianity is about spreading the word of Jesus and converting people when she's not judging them. In fact, she did make a TikTok even about judging her friends who are not Christian, which also brings us to a man named James. James was the homeless man that Brittany used for clout and money. A friend of Brittany's named Cruz met him outside of church. He told the story to Brittany of James coming into church and donating his last 15 cents to the church. Cruz was so touched by this, he went out and talked to him, and I guess that was it. He didn't like do anything for this guy. He just like talked to him and got like his life story. Then he went out to dinner with Brittany and her husband Jordan and told them about this guy James. Brittany and Jordan were so touched, they were like, oh my god, let's go find James, let's go change his life, the Lord is calling me to this. Brittany says her team is going to look for James. I think she just meant Jordan and Cruz as her team. They go and they find this homeless man. So there's actually all the highlights, it's all on her Instagram still. She still has this all on her Instagram. They go and they find him, they drive drive around and they just pull up next to him. They get him a hotel room to stay in. He was dealing with addiction. I don't know if he still is, but they decide, you know, we need to get him into treatment, which is all well and good, but you really don't know this man at all. So you don't know if he's ready for treatment. You can't force somebody to get help who's not ready to get help. But you know, overall, it seems like a nice gesture. They are getting him a hotel room where he can shower and clean himself and have a nice warm bed and have food. It was really creepy because they were literally documenting everything they did with James. Her husband, who was her boyfriend at the time, Jordan, while this guy James is in the shower praying, Jordan is outside filming it and then uploading it to Instagram about how beautiful it is. The dude is taking a shower. Leave him alone. You don't have to exploit everything this guy is doing. So then a GoFundMe was started by Jordan. It was rumored that Brittany could not actually be the creator of this GoFundMe because she'd already been banned for scamming on the platform. And they raised over $25,000 for his treatment and care. They said they were also getting him into a faith-based rehab in Ohio. Now, when it comes to faith-based treatments, you just want to be sure that there are actual clinical psychologists and therapists there and not just people who are going to try and pray the addiction away. I actually saw a video from Haney. She went through Reddit and learned a lot about this. Somebody actually called this treatment center in Ohio and found that it was free of charge. So the $25,000 was unnecessary. Now, when questioned about it, Brittany and Jordan said, you know, well, we couldn't just give it to him. You know, he's an addict. We can't give him $25,000. He's just gonna blow it. Okay, understandable, but where's that money going to? Do you have it in a fund for him? Did you give it to a family member? After they pushed him off to the Ohio treatment, you've never heard about James ever again. They briefly mention him in one Q&A and just say, oh, he's great, by the way, but they don't elaborate on it at all. And so the consensus is that Brittany and her now husband, Jordan, kept that $25,000 and just shipped James off to some treatment facility in Ohio. Now, there was a lot more to that story about James like running away and things like that, but you know, he was dealing with active addiction and he had strangers pushing him into a faith-based treatment facility that may or may not have been a good fit for him. It's possible that they even used him to scam people out of $25,000. Now, this story is actually what kind of put Brittany Dawn on my radar a few years ago because I saw articles about this. People were actually writing about this on blogs and major news media. So this was the second like scam of Brittany Dawn that had gotten national attention. So Brittany has continued to spread the word of God through her own testimonial and through her new ministry, She Lives Free. Yes, she has a ministry where actually they gave people baptisms in bathtubs, and I'm not actually sure if she's qualified to do that. Like, did she go to divinity school? Is she ordained in any way, shape, or form? But yes, in October of 2021, Brittany Dawn hosted an event that was marketed as a women's faith retreat. So this was just for women. It was for female empowerment and growth, and honestly, I eat that up. I love being around women and just sharing experiences of womanhood. I think it's amazing. But her husband was there, and that just totally makes the entire vibe weird and off when you are trying to push this women's retreat and then your like overbearing, like brutal ex-cop husband is there kind of like looming over. I'm not sure a fitness scammer and a ex-cop are the people that I want baptizing me. I don't know if I'm gonna get into heaven with that baptism. I wanted to move on to her treatment of animals because that is something that is also very disgusting. Now, she has had a plethora of dogs, but then a big one was she actually had a horse that she had in a stable. Now, a lot of people, when they own horses and they don't actually have a stable in their home, they will pay a stable to like house their horse, and they'll come and see it. A lot of people come and see their horses daily so they can ride them, get them exercise, see if they need veterinary care, if they need any kind of grooming. So she had her horse in a stable and she left it there. She eventually stopped paying fees to the stable company, and those fees actually go to like veterinary care and things like that. She stopped visiting. The stable actually stepped up, paid for the veterinary care because the horse was very sick and was becoming malnourished, and they actually helped nurse it back to health. Then to top it off, Brittany Dawn tried to claim that her horse got sick in the stable and used the healthy picture after the stable had helped get the horse to health. She used that as a picture picture of what her horse looked like when she dropped it off, and then he used a picture of it looking sickly, how it actually looked like when she dropped it off, as the after picture. I loved that the stable owner did not let her get away with that and ripped her apart in the comments. I think it was on Yelp. And then most recently, within the past few months, she had the death of her dog. Now, she says there was nothing they could do. Her dog had been hit by a car. The best thing that they could do was to put it out of its misery. So her husband shot the dog in the streets of Texas. Now, I'm not gonna dox people, I'm not gonna go look this up, but lots of people have found Brittany Dawn's address and found that she was less than 2 to 4 miles from 2 different emergency vets. Also, once again, Jordan Dawn, Mr. Dawn, exhibiting overly aggressive behavior instead of compassionately trying to get the dog to the vet to do everything that they could, or to at least euthanize it in a less painful manner. He had to take out his gun that I'm assuming he was carrying with him and shoot the dog. So now that we are more or less all caught up to what's going on in the world of Brittany Dawn, we are to February of this year. The Texas Attorney General actually filed a lawsuit against Brittany Dawn Davis. I guess that was actually her last name this whole time, but now it's Nelson, and Brittany Dawn Fitness for her deceptive marketing practices within her fitness plans. So it turns out in 2019, when this Facebook group was happening, somebody reported it to the Attorney General in Texas. That's where she lived at the time, and that is where a good chunk of her consumers actually lived as well. Somebody did say that they talked to the Attorney General as well. It just took a couple years for them to build up their case. Emily DeBaker broke this down beautifully. She has like a 50-something minute video. I mean, I started from when she's talking about this, not all the other stuff. Obviously, Emily DeBaker breaks the legal aspect of this down way better than I do because she is an attorney and she's a former DA. So if you want the full-on nitty-gritty of what's going on in this, check it out. And apparently, if she loses this, she won't be able to do fitness plans anymore or have fitness workshops and things like that. I wonder if that affects her ability to have her She Lives Free workshops. Like, would she still be allowed to do that sort of stuff? Because after this lawsuit was filed and went public, she actually announced that she was doing a 1-day She Lives Free event. And I checked it out. I wanted to see how much is it? Could I afford to go? No, I cannot afford to go because the ticket to this event doesn't include like airfare or like anywhere to stay. It only includes 1 meal. So it's just like way too much of a cost. But you know, it's just business as usual for Brittany Dawn. Brittany is all about ignoring the haters or the demons as she thinks of them. And the fact that my channel name has the word demon in it is that the irony is not lost on me. She is going to hate it if she sees it. And I'm just gonna say right now, Brittany, I am not a real demon. I am a person. So Brittany Dawn has responded to this and it says, to the Honorable Court, Brittany Dawn Davis and Brittany Dawn Fitness, LLC, a Texas limited liability company, the defendants filed this original answer to plaintiff's original petition by way of the answer shows. Defendant Brittany Dawn Davis and Brittany Dawn Fitness, LLC, deny generally every allegation contained in plaintiff's original petition and demand strict proof by a preponderance, I hope I said that word right, of credible evidence. Oh girl, I think they're gonna find some evidence because from what I understand, this is going to be a jury trial. Wherefore, Brittany Dawn Davis and Brittany Dawn Fitness, LLC defendants pray that the plaintiff will take nothing from its suit and for such other relief that the court may deem just and to which defendants have shown themselves entitled. Respectfully submitted. Now, I think it's super weird that they pray that the plaintiff will take nothing. Just the word pray, put pray in a legal document. However, I've seen people who are from Texas that say this is very common, but she's denying every allegation and says, show us proof. Anyway, I'm keeping my eye on this Brittany Dawn case. If I see updates or anything interesting, I will, of course, post that kind of stuff here. And if you have not already, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I will see you guys next time. Laters. Bye.